Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our fourth race of the season for the NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series. Live right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Food City 500. After a week off, we finally go to our first short track race of the season. And just in case for those who may not remember, just 2 weeks ago, we were over at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway where we had some pretty good, hard to pass kind of racing. By the end of it all, though, of course, it was Val Mosco in the number 88 machine who led pretty much every single aspect of that event. He led every single lap, all 134 laps. He won the race. He obviously got the 42 points for winning. The normal 42 points for winning. But he got that 1 bonus point for leading a lap, those 5 bonus points for leading the most laps, and then those 10 additional bonus points for winning the race. So that gives him a pretty good cushion heading into this weekend's race right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. This is our, like I said, our first short track race of the season, and should be a very fun one to say the least. 250 laps around this half-mile Coliseum here in Thunder Valley. Should be a very fun one, and we're really glad that you guys could be here for this race. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard, your commentator here for this event. Before we actually get these cars rolling off, let's go ahead and take a look at your point standings coming into this weekend. Of course, BB Hange, after Vegas and after the performance that he had there, which wasn't the greatest, still narrowly holds on to the points lead by 4 points over Mitchell O'Brien, our new runner-up in the standings. Will Parrish now third with 99 points in his pocket. Val Mosco, with his win, jumps up into the 4th position with 92 points in his bank account. Tyler Belladonna with 83 points in his pocket with this win at Phoenix. Roberto Crown Jr. still holding on inside of the top 10 in the point standings. He's 6th with 80 points in the bank. John Andrews, who looks like he's starting 6th in this race, currently 7th in the points with 79 points in the bank. Damian Kyle Wood and Dale Johnson, the second, both tied in the point standings. However, due to Microsoft Sheets at Physics, DK Wood would break that tie with Dale Johnson the second, 9th, and Michael Young with 74 points in his pocket, completing the top 10 in the standings. Take a look at the rest of your results right over here coming into this weekend. Just give me 1 second. Apologize, had a little bit of a phlegm buildup, but you see there, those are your current point standings coming into this weekend. Some drivers who are up inside of the top 10 unfortunately have fallen out and have kind of taken a pretty big hit in the point standings. One driver that kind of benefited from this just a little bit was Travis Crampton. If you remember, just 2 weeks ago, he came into the weekend. He went into Vegas dead last in points. Now with the finish that he got at Vegas just 2 weeks ago, he now sits 33rd in standings. Very beneficial for him, but still has a lot of ground to make up if he wants to move up inside of the top 10 in the point standings. Same goes for a lot of these other drivers. Nathan Stapleton, who I believe was also up there, probably about top 15, top 20 in the standings. Now he has fallen all the way down to 26th in the point standings. Or sorry, that's Michael DeFeo. I'm looking at this wrong. So 29th in the standings. Everything is just so small when I'm looking at this from afar. 31st. Sorry. I'm getting everything mixed up. But still, we're doing the absolute best we can here. Doing the absolute best we can to bring you guys up to date on the points. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and take a look at your starting lineup coming into this weekend. Of course, Dale Johnson sitting on the pole position, with Bob Floyd alongside. Then it's John Felber, Terry Walker in row number 2. Row 3, Tatiana Noguera, who comes to this race dead last in the point standings. Definitely going to have a lot of ground to make up over there. But as the season progresses, it's going to get really hard to... it's going to get pretty difficult to move up in the points. So this is still the best and opportune time to do it. If you're going to try to get some points under your belt, might as well start making some moves. John Andrews will start at 6th. Travis Crampton will start in the 7th position. Then Alex Rampus, Val Mosco, our winner from Vegas, and Kyler Sustry will complete the top 10. Starting order: Take a look at the rest of your starting results. We got Vidal, Young, Taylor, Savantali, Hernandez, Michael DeFeo, Sammy Cars, Josh Lee, Sebastian Palmer, Will Parrish completing the top 20. We move on down. There's Zachary Fitzwater. We also have Jeremiah Simpson, Damian Kyle Wood, Derek Hamill, BB Hange, our points leader. Also starting about towards the back of the field, just behind mid-pack, so he's going to have a little bit of work cut out for him. Chad Gronkowski, Nathan Stapleton, Roberto Crown Jr., Avon Murray, Rogel Dorn completing the top 30. And then the rest of our starters in this order: Colin Block, Nia Steidel, Matt Jones, Wyatt Walker, Casey Wells, Ryan Durrani, Tyler Belladonna, Daniel Adams, Mitchell O'Brien are runner-up in the standings. This is not where he really wants to start, but he's going to have some ground to make up, that is for sure. And then Bryce Egan, Matthew Hubert, and Stephen Colon starting shotgun on the field here today. There is one more thing I do need to do, and I completely forgot to do it. I need to turn off my sound alerts. And there we go. That's why you saw my face there for just a second. You saw my face for a second because I needed to turn off my sound alerts. But here we go. So glad that you guys could be with us here today at the Bristol Motor Speedway for race number 4 of the NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series. 250 laps of distance, and we're getting ready to go. Drivers are strapped into their cars. Pre-race ceremonies are just now starting to wrap up. But in order to get these 42 cars rolling out on the track, let's go trackside to get the command to fire the engines.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there it is. Engines have been fired. Pace car will roll off, and so will the drivers.
Yes, sir.
Wasting absolutely no time whatsoever. I forgot to take off the racing line. Dang it. I completely forgot to take off the racing line. Hold on. There we go.
Drivers, start your engines.
Man, my apologies. I am completely just fumbling the ball.
Daniel, how are you? You're right up there? Where are you at?
But there we go. Let's try that again. Let's try that again.
Drivers, start your engines.
No, it is not, Yuki. Goodness gracious.
You're right up there? Where are you at?
Engines are fired, pace cars rolling off, and so are these 42 competitors without the racing line. And it looks like we're definitely good to go. All 42 cars are rolling off. And we're wasting no time whatsoever. 250 laps around this half-mile Coliseum here in Thunder Valley. Should be very fun. Pace car is going to make the dive onto pit road, and this will put the field in the hands of Dale Johnson and Bob Floyd to lead him to green. And race number 4 is underway here in Bristol. Felber wasting no time whatsoever. He'll make the move to the inside to take over the top position. He'll lead lap number 1. And the bottom, as we're going to see here, is probably one of the more preferred lines to take. Everybody's going to start working their way down to the inside. You got Terry Walker in the 48 moving up into second. Tatiana Noguera, whom, as I mentioned, comes into this race dead last in the standings. Definitely going to need... Whoa, Sammy Cars! Big trouble. Oh, man. Big wreck going into turn number 3. Avon Murray, Josh Lee got some damage. Will Parrish, Roberto Crown Jr., especially Parrish. Parrish came into this race pretty high up in the standings, and this is definitely not what he wants whatsoever. A small buckle on the hood, actually, so I think he'll be all right to stay out on the track, but we are under caution for the first time here today. Avon Murray taking his car back behind the wall. And Josh Lee, more than likely, is going to do the exact same thing. That is very unfortunate. We just got this race started. And unfortunately, we're going to already have some retirees early in the going here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. These drivers already making their way down the pit road, as you can see there. These drivers will have to use the pit entry over in turn number 2, and they have to go all the way around down on the apron through 3 and 4 until they get to the next section of pit road. And it looks like a lot of splash and go. Terry Walker looks like he's going to win that race off out of the pits. John Felber coming out second. PJ Vidal looks like coming out third. Skylar Taylor, then Edson Hernandez, Sebastian Palmer, Tatiana Noguera, John Andrews, Dale Johnson, and others coming back out after topping off on fuel. Let's go back and take a look at what happened that caused our first yellow flag of the day here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And it looks like from the looks of things, I do want to say that probably was just a product of things getting pretty loose going through the corners. See, they come off turn 2. Looks like Palmer in the 83 just hangs on the left rear quarter panel of the 43. Look at that hard hit into the inside wall there for Sammy Cars. And then he just loses control of his number 43 machine. He comes right back up on the track, and then that collects Avon Murray. Colin Block gets a piece of this. Josh Lee with nowhere to go. Matt Jones, Will Parrish, Jeremiah Simpson just gets into the door. He might have just gotten on the brakes in time to avoid any further contact with the two. But it looks like it was just those 3 to 4 cars, about 4 or 5 cars, with Josh Lee, Avon Murray, Colin Block, and also, obviously, in the number 43 of Sammy Cars. And you see these 3 cars, Gronkowski, Steidl, and also Adams rubbing against the outside wall coming off of turn number 4. But it is game over for the number 30 of Avon Murray and also the 34 of Josh Lee. They are done early here in the Food City 500 right here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's go back and take a look at this in real time. See if we can find the 43. There he is. There's not really a lot of time to react in these types of scenarios, especially when there's not a lot of room at a place like here at Bristol. Barely anywhere to go. These other drivers tried and tried and tried, but one split second is all that it takes to react, and if you don't take that opportunity to react, this will happen. So unfortunately, the 30 and the 34, they're going to be done for the day. And some drivers will be able to continue on here in this race. But just, they might not be able to... They might not be able to continue on. Well, they might not be able to be in contention to win, though. That is for sure. Looks like Crown and Parrish, Damien Kyle Wood, and also Chad Gronkowski, they're coming back out onto the racetrack after making some repairs to their machines as we're back to live action. With 6 laps complete, of course, your top 10 is taking on a whole different look. Just to review, Terry Walker, the race leader. Then running in second is John Felber. Third, PJ Vidal. Then fourth, Skylar Taylor. Completing your top 5, there would be Edson Hernandez, as we believe. Yes, we just got one to go. Then Sebastian Palmer, Tatiana Noguera, John Andrews, Dale Johnson II, and Alex Rampus completes the top 10. as we are now a half a lap away from coming back to the green flag. Got a couple cars lining up on the inside. Points leader BB Hange and also the number 47 machine of Derek Hamill. And remember, even though Chad Gronkowski is in front of Terry Walker, he is not the official race leader. He's on the tail end of the lead lap. He gets a really good jump on that restart. And this is going to open the door for 4 wide. Okay, good. We did not get 4 wide. John Felber breaks out with the lead for a split second, but PJ Vidal coming on the attack on the inside. He'll take over the top spot as they head through turns 1 and 2 again. Lots of drivers getting really squirrely through the corners as they're coming out with a high rate of speed. Skylar Taylor's going to break out into second. Hernandez third, and then Sebastian Palmer in the 4th spot. Looks like Felber and Walker fell back quite a ways. They were 1st and 2nd. Now they are currently 7th and 9th. Just a mere few laps later, now 8th and 9th. Man, Andrews got really sideways off the corner there. As you saw Colin Block, Nathan Stapleton, and a few others on pit road. Alex Rampus and Kyler Sustry are making unscheduled pit stops as well. So they're going to be trapped a lap down here. Looks like Felber and I believe Terry Walker might have just come down pit road as well. Nia Steidel in the pits. Mitchell O'Brien in the pits. What is going on? These drivers making splash and goes, they've already done that. And that's very suspicious that they're doing that. But now PJ Vidal trapped up on the outside. That's going to open the door for Skylar Taylor to take the lead. And Edson Hernandez going to move up into second. That's going to also open the door for Palmer and Noguera to get by for 3rd and 4th. Vidal trapped on that outside line. Can't really go anywhere as of right now until he finds a hole. He's not going to be able to find it here. He's absolutely trying everything he can here. And he's going to be able to have a break here. He gets clear of the 98. 27, Dale Johnson, the second, now trapped up on the outside. With some of the slower traffic, that is Mitchell O'Brien, Kyler Sustry. Remember, those two did come down pit road just a few laps ago. Michael Young is now broken back inside of the top 10. He is currently 8th, getting by Jeremiah Simpson. Alex Savitali in the number 26. Still very determined to maybe get at least a win or two here this season. So far, he's put the performance together once again here at Bristol. Currently shown in the 9th position. 20 laps complete. Skylar Taylor still leading the charge. 1/3 of a second ahead of Edson Hernandez. As they work their way through turns, off of turn 4. Back into turn number 1. So far, everything's kind of calmed down, at least for the most part, until we get back over here. That's Michael DeFeo in the number 40, Matt Jones, 78. Going at it for, I believe that's for position. Actually, yeah, it is. So put Jones in 12th. Stephen Colon, who started shotgun on the field, has already moved his way up to 13th thanks to a little bit of strategy calls. So not too bad there for the number 24 machine of Stephen Colon. He's one of those drivers that really needs a good run here today. So far, early in the going, he's doing just that, shown 13th. There's Tyler Belladonna, our Phoenix winner, in the number 4. Currently shown in the 14th position. Bryce Egan there, 15th, and 16th is the number 10 of Bob Floyd. So a lot of the Hendrick cars, I mean, other than Terry Walker, who's still running inside of the top 10. The rest of the Hendrick cars are 13th, 15th, and also 17th, with last week's winner, Val Mosco, in the 17th position. Moscow dominated, and like I said, Moscow dominated Phoenix, well, dominated Las Vegas, I should say, in just absolutely convincing fashion. led every lap, won the race, got all the bonus points that you could accumulate. And I stand corrected when I say 42 points. I meant to say 40 because I'm using the actual 2016 point standings. Yes, I know this is very, very jumbled up, but I do understand. But I'm just trying something different with points, and so far it's actually working out pretty well. But Moscow, I believe, was shown 4th in the standings last time we looked at the top of the show. And right now running 17th. Not the position that he wants to run in, but so far he's actually doing pretty well. And as you can see, everybody has calmed down. Everybody has gotten single file. So it's going to be this way for a while. A lot of these guys are going to start riding. They'll be riding for the time being. Well, Parrish got into the outside wall there coming off of turn number 2. And now he's going to still be trapped up on that outside. He just hit the wall again. I think at this point, you might as well just bring the car to pit road because it's either ridiculously tight or he's just carrying way too much speed on corner exit. Preferably, most likely both. Finally gets a hold between Michael Young and Terry Walker. He's going to tuck in right here, but Walker might be on the attack here as he's coming off of turn number 4. Drop slow, going to try to make the pass on Will Parrish. Meanwhile, might have ourselves a battle for 10th on our hands. Here comes Jeremiah Simpson on Alex Savatali. Savatali has it, and Jeremiah Simpson is going to want it. This isn't a battle for track position over here, but it is a battle for... Oh man, Jones got in the wall really hard there. So Matt Jones into the wall, and he's going to lose quite a bit of ground there. He just lost 11th. Lost 12th, and he lost 3 positions thanks to that slap to the outside wall. Will Parrish getting into the wall once again. So now Parrish is now starting to lose a lot of time on the racetrack. So we have a handful of cars that are still a lap down, obviously. Will Parrish in this number 2, still hitting the outside wall pretty hard. John Felber, Alex Rampus. Then the cars 2 laps down, DK Wood, and also Kyler Sustry 3 laps down. Of course, Colin Block, Mitchell O'Brien, Nice Title, Nathan Stapleton. Due to those unscheduled stops, and that's definitely not something that any of those drivers wanted to do, but I feel like they probably had to do it because they probably weren't sure if they were going to make it until that first round of green flag pit stops, which might be coming up here very, very soon. Probably, I want to say right around the lap 65, 69 window. That's my personal guess. Skylar Taylor, though, has a 2/3 of a second lead over Edson Hernandez, with Sebastian Palmer sitting in 3rd, Tatiana Noguera 4th, getting the good run they need to move up in the point standings. Colin Block, like I said, he is the first car 3 laps down, so he's currently sitting over here behind Noguera. And then you get back to PJ Vidal, who actually is 4th position on the number 21. He completes the top 5 as of right now, and then John Andrews, Dale Johnson, Michael Young, Terry Walker, and Alex Savatali, they all complete the top 10 as of right now, coming around to complete 45 laps here in the Food City 500 for race number 4 of the NRLOA McDonald's Cup Series. If you're just now tuning in, we have just gotten into a green flag run. We've only had 1 caution back on lap number 5 that took out only 2 cars, Josh Lee, the number 34, and number 30, Avon Murray, due to a 4 to 5 car incident that started on the back straightaway with Sammy Cars getting turned by Sebastian Palmer, and it collected Murray and Lee. And those 2, unfortunately, were the only 2 retirees from the event and have smelled what the rock was cooking. Speaking of Sammy Cars, here he is on pit road. Looks like trying to make a maybe making another unscheduled stop. It could be for repairs on that number 43 machine. But still, nonetheless, another few more laps he is going to fall. Because I believe he was 1 lap down. Yep, 1 lap down. Now he's going to be 2 laps down. He could be 3 here very, very shortly. 1/5 of the race will be complete here in Bristol. Skylar Taylor has been leading since, I want to say, probably since the restart. And he has not looked back ever since. Hernandez still sitting in the 2nd position. And it's only a matter of time before we do have ourselves our first round of official first round of green flag pit stops after this green flag run. We'll just have to wait and see what happens as they work their way through 1 and 2 once more. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. So far, everything's been pretty clean and green ever since lap 5, so things have been looking calm, cool, and collected. You see Michael DeFeo making his way down to pit road. Last he was scored 18th, but now he is just dropping in the point and dropping in the running order. And he is probably going to fall maybe 1 now, possibly 2 laps down at this point. Looks like getting some tires on that number 40 machine. PJ Vidal also making a stop. I believe we might be getting our first round of green flag pit stops a lot earlier than we expected. Bob Floyd now peeling off. He's coming to pit road. Wonder if there's going to be any other takers as of this particular moment. And if you're any of these other cars, there's a chance you might be strategizing and thinking to yourself, hey, maybe I might want to try to come in early so that way I can get some 4 fresh Goodyears, maybe top off on that fuel and see where things go until we get to the next round of green flag stops, depending on how long this green flag run goes. But I'm willing to bet you a lot of these drivers, they're going to be riding. They're going to be riding and riding and riding and riding until we get down to the nitty-gritty of things. Maybe when it gets down to 10 laps to go, it should be pretty fun to watch. But as of right now, we still have some ways to go. We have 65 laps until halfway. So these drivers have some time, but as we all know, at a short track, time just goes by, lap after lap after lap. And BB Hange looks like got into the outside wall pretty hard there. Oh, we had a crash. Wyatt Walker looks like went around, and that will bring out yet another caution. Wyatt Walker, who looks like spun out through turns 1 and 2. That's going to bring out another caution, and that is definitely going to trap a lot of drivers a lap down. Crampton, Val Moscow is going to be trapped. Parrish, Fitzy, Sebastian Palmer. I believe Palmer was already in the pits by the time the caution came out, so he'll still be able to make his stop and come back out on the racetrack. But our second caution of the day flies, and it comes out on lap number 64. So our race leaders are going to come down pit road. Skylar Taylor, Edson Hernandez, Tatiana Noguera, John Andrews, and Dale Johnson. That's our top 5. And just remember, these cars already made their pit stops, so they're making their way back out onto the track. And some of them who already made their stops, looks like some of them are going to get their laps back, or maybe get back on the lead lap. Or maybe, if you're a lead lap car, you're definitely going to get a lot of track position from this. And it is going to be very, very beneficial. See, as they cross the line this time around. So it looks like, obviously, Tatiana Noguera was the race leader. And a lot of the drivers that already made their pit stops previously, well, it looks like they're coming back down again. Maybe just to top off and double down on whatever adjustments that they made and vice versa. That's kind of interesting. And, okay. Skyler. What was that, dude? Why did you put Travis Crampton at the end of the pit wall? That was kind of dirty, to say the least, but unfortunately, this is going to really hurt Travis Crampton now. He was 2 laps down, and he's going to be way deeper in the field, thanks to that move by Skyler Taylor, who was trying to get back out onto the racetrack, but it cost him the race lead. So let's go back and take a look and see what happened. That caused our second yellow of the race here in Bristol. Sorry, I had a little bit of a phlegm buildup. Goodness gracious. And it involved Wyatt Walker in the number 99 machine. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened to him. Oh, that's what happened. So this is coming off of turn number 4. Roberto Crown Jr. got really loose off the corner, and that was going to allow Walker to capitalize and try to take over position. But Nathan Stapleton was right there in the left rear quarter panel. He's going to try to make a move to the inside. But I think Roberto Crown Jr. was also going to try to make a run down pit road, and Walker didn't even notice that, and he just goes into the wall pretty hard. And also, Roberto Crown Jr. saw on the left-hand side of your screen, he also tagged the wall as well. He got pancaked and sandwiched up there by Nathan Stapleton. And that's what brought out our second caution of the day here at Bristol. So tough break there for Wyatt Walker, Roberto Crown Jr., Nathan Stapleton. Like I said, didn't really get a whole lot of damage out of this, but he's still going to be able to continue on. Both drivers will still continue on, regardless of what happens, because usually at a short track like this, aerodynamics really do not mean a thing. It's more or less of the equipment that matters the most, especially equipment and handling and brakes, vice versa, but nothing about aerodynamics. You could damage this car. You could damage this car from the body extremely bad, and it'll still perform really well. So that was what brought out our second caution of the race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Of course, Edson Hernandez being shown as the race leader. As we're going to get 1 to go here. So Hernandez is going to move up alongside the number 13 of PJ Vidal. And we have a lot more lap cars down on the inside than we do on the outside. We have 11 cars left on the lead lap. Everybody else lined up on that inside is a lap down or more. So this is going to be very interesting from here on to see how this race goes. And fingers crossed, hopefully it's not a wreck fest. So here they come to start lap number 69. Green is in the air. Edson Hernandez, again, the race leader. Tatiana Noguera going to try to make a move to the inside. Vidal scrapes the outside wall pretty hard there as they go through 3 and 4. Sebastian Palmer down on the inside. And Hernandez gets into the wall again. That's going to open the door for Tatiana Noguera to take over the top position. Hernandez definitely hit that wall pretty hard there as they came out of 4. But we're still clean and green, to say the least. John Andrews, 3rd. Number 27, Dale Johnson, the 2nd. He's currently 4th. Savatali completing the top 5. And Stephen Colon, who we brought up earlier, showing his face inside of the top 10 for the first time here today on lap number 72. There's still 3 wide up here. Matthew Hubert, Savitali in the middle, Johnson up top. I thought they had that cleared up. No, they didn't. No, around goes Mitchell O'Brien. Will Parrish involved in that one. Jeremiah Simpson. 3rd yellow flag of the day. That was not pretty whatsoever. Absolutely not pretty. They were 3 wide for so long. They could only do that so many times until somebody made a mistake. And unfortunately, Dale Johnson the second scraped the wall pretty hard and got into his teammate Mitchell O'Brien, and that's what set that whole thing off. I thought it was going to be a big, massive pileup heading into turn number 1. Luckily, we did not have that. So we have a few drivers coming down pit road, and I want to say that's a lot of the lead lap cars that are coming in. Parrish was involved in another incident, but he looks like he's still going to continue on here in this event. Man, though, lots of trouble here in this one. Towards lap number, just past lap 69, past lap 70. We're going to go back and take a look at what happened that caused our 3rd yellow flag of the race here at Bristol. We can follow the number 3 of Mitchell O'Brien. So this was coming off of 4. We're starting over in turn number 3 because this is where the trouble begins to accumulate. You see a lot of drivers, they're going into the corners at high rates of speed, and some of them will carry too much speed coming out of the corner, as is the case for the 27 of Dale Johnson. Also the 3 of O'Brien, they both get together. O'Brien bounces off the 98 and then comes right back up into the 27. And they both go around. Jeremiah Simpson gets a piece, so does Kyler Sustry. He gets a piece of Simpson and also the 3. See Will Parrish get collected. So this is a 4 cars going around on the front straightaway heading into turn number 1 that set that whole thing off. And into our 3rd caution flag of the race. Let's go back and take a look at this real time. It's back when it all actually accumulated. So let's go back and look at that one more time. This time from the TV2 camera. Big, massive whammo there for the RCR teammates of O'Brien and Johnson. So those cars, they'll be able to continue on, but they've got a pretty minor to moderate amount of damage to their race machines. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. That's for sure. So it looks like we went back to green, actually. We missed the restart. So it was the number 26 of Alex Savitali who took over the top position. Do apologize for completely missing the restart. Usually wouldn't be the McDonald's Cup Series if you missed the restart, but looks like we've got ourselves a calmer one here. Tatiana Nogueira 2nd, Hernandez 3rd, John Andrews 4th. He's 2 seconds back because he's got all this slow lap traffic right in front of him. Then it's Johnson who manages to maintain the top 5. And then Simpson Ryan Durrani coming up inside of the top 10. He just scraped the wall pretty hard there, so he might lose a couple positions. Stapleton riding the apron. That's kind of interesting, and that's kind of interesting too. Rogel Dorn to the outside wall. Gets rear-ended by DK Wood. And just like that, we're back under caution. I noticed that Steven Cologne was in a very interesting 3-wide situation. And then as we moved up to try to focus on that, Rogel Dorn had gone around and right into the outside wall pretty hard, and they also collected Damian Kyle Wood in the 38, who unfortunately did not have anywhere to go whatsoever. And that puts us under our 4th yellow flag of the race. And we're not even to lap 100 just yet. Such an unfortunate turn of events here at Bristol. Usually this happens after you have one caution, then all of a sudden it could just potentially blow up in all these drivers' faces and just become a wreck fest from then on. Hopefully it doesn't become just that, but you never really know. Looks like some of these drivers are going to take right side tires and maybe 4 tires. We'll see what happens here. 4 tires for all these drivers. See the rest of the lapped cars coming down onto pit road. Let's go back and look at what happened that caused our 4th yellow flag of the race here at Bristol. That involved the number 1 of Rogel Dorn. Such an unfortunate turn of events here. It was a very sort of unique 3-wide situation that we were looking at here, just at the bottom of the screen before it actually happened in real time. This is what I was concerned about. Simpson, Cologne. Looks like Cologne gets forced down by Jeremiah Simpson. He gets sandwiched. And then right into the number 1 goes Simpson. And turns him up into the outside wall. Looks like BB Hange and Steven Cologne almost got together there through 3 and 4. Looks like they might have tagged the wall. And then right here, Damian Kyle Wood, just absolutely nowhere to go as the 1 just continues to slide down the progressive banking. Not a position that you really want to be in, especially if you're somebody like Rogel Dorn or even Damian Kyle Wood whatsoever. Because again, in that moment, you usually have a split second to react. And if you don't take that second to react, you're pretty much committed at that point. Such as this. Just look at this happen in real time. And then right there. Looks like DK Wood just might have a moderate amount of damage to his race machine, but nonetheless, he might be able to continue on. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But Rogel Dorn, same case for him. It's going to be pretty tough to... I think it might be tough to keep up with everybody, but you never know. Again, aerodynamics really don't mean a thing here at Bristol, so it should be pretty interesting, to say the least, as to what might happen here in the closing stages here at Bristol. Back to live action. Of course, you see all these other cars coming down pit road, making their pit stops, putting 4 tires back on their cars and 4 fresh Goodyears on their race cars. And do believe the race leader is now going to be... What in the world? Casey, well, what are you doing? You know, just 2 weeks ago, she was blowing them on. I can't talk. Just 2 weeks ago, she was mowing the lawn at Las Vegas down on the front straightaway grass. Or it might have been Daniel Adams. I'm not sure. It was one of those two. But either way, we had a car go through the grass on the front straightaway during pit stops, and that was just by far the most interesting thing that we just saw, that we just tuned into. And John Felber is done for the day. Looks like he's got a lot more damage on that number 16 machine. He's smoking, and this is definitely game over here for John Felber here today at Bristol Motor Speedway. Had a lot of high hopes coming into this race. Had a lot of high hopes coming into this race, and unfortunately, he's not going to see the checkered flag fall here at Bristol. Restarting lap number 91. John Andrews is going to take off with the top position, but Sammy Cars is going to fight right back on the inside line. Andrews scrapes the outside wall just a little bit, and apparently all these other cars are using the apron for some reason. That's kind of interesting. You usually don't get some form of aerodynamic advantage trying to use the apron, but very interesting call there. Salvatale breaks out with second. Then third will be the 21 of Tatiana Noguera. Then fourth. Actually, we have a caution. We do have another yellow. There was a wreck in turn number 1 with Zachary Fitzwater, the 20 of Jeremiah Simpson. And just like that, we are back under caution. What in the world is going on? Yet another yellow flag on lap number 94. I'm really hoping it doesn't turn into this for the rest of the race. Just honestly, I really hope it doesn't. And nonetheless, all the small batch of lead lap cars are coming down pit road. They're going to be making their stops, and looks like everybody else is going to be making their stops here very, very shortly. Let's go back and take a look at what happened that caused our most recent caution here at Bristol. Oh, it looks like Michael Young got turned. Indeed, that is the case. So this is coming off of turn number 4. Young just barely leaves the door open for the 55 of Daniel Adams. And you're going to see here, he gets into the left rear quarter panel and sends him down into the inside wall. And unfortunately, that just up here, it causes a big stack up. See Simpson get into the wall. Zachary Fitzwater loses control of his car, collects Kyler Sustry. And all 3 of those cars pile up midway through 1 and 2. So I believe this might be our 5th or 6th yellow flag of the race. And it comes out just shy of lap 100. Let's go back and look at this in real time. Just right there. I think Daniel Adams thought that he could just try to fit the car down there on the inside and try to make a hole where none really existed, none truly existed, and unfortunately he just caused another incident that brought out yet another yellow flag. And these drivers right here, Simpson, Sustry, and also Fitzy, they all tried to react, and unfortunately they just took each other out in the process of doing just that. Very unfortunate turn of events here at Bristol. And I believe I missed the restart again. I did. Dang it, dude. And we had another crash. We had another one. Will Parrish went around. Casey Wells collected. And just like that, not much to miss here. We're back under caution. Looks like it might have been a big, massive pile up there going into turn 3 and 4. And Casey Wells gets more damage on her race machine. Sorry. Oh, nope. That's not what I wanted. Oh, my goodness. I'm messing up really bad. So just like that, we're back under caution. Unfortunately. And we just made it to lap 100, and all these other cars, they're coming down pit road to get service done on their race machines. Splash and go here for the 27 of Dale Johnson II. Everybody else will be making their stops here very, very shortly. Let's go back and take a look at what happened that caused our most recent yellow flag of the race here at Bristol, with Will Parrish in the number 2 going around. So this is just shy of, so this is just after the restart. And I believe here going through 1 and 2, everybody goes really wide because they're carrying way too much speed going through the corners. And we did have 4 wide for just a moment. But 4 wide, as everybody knows, it just does not work here. And Casey Wells just gets sandwiched in between the 20 and the 2. And Simpson ended up getting the worst end of that, or not Simpson, sorry, Parrish ended up getting the worst end of that one. He goes around 90 degrees, or 180, excuse me, then back to 90, then gets corrected after hitting the outside wall. Casey Wells, Derek Hamill, both involved in that one. But that was what put us under our most recent caution flag of the race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And you see here, these drivers do have to stop because of the red light being on, so they have to wait till all this traffic clears up. Then they can go ahead and go. But this is not the right time to go. There we go. Noguera gets a good spot to get clear and get back out on the track. So does Savantali, Parrish, or excuse me, Simpson, Bryce Egan moving up inside of the top 10 for the first time today. Stephen Colon, then Alex Rampus, Sebastian Palmer. Also the 31 of Edson Hernandez. I believe that he'll be completing the top 10 after they've made their pit stops. If you're just now tuning in, we are now working our most recent yellow flag. We've had quite a few cautions here in this race ever since our second yellow flag. That back on lap 64. And not much has really changed here. We have a couple cars that did manage to get back onto the lead lap, so now we have 13 cars left on the lead lap. Everybody else is 1 lap down or more. So let's hope and pray that we can actually get a good long green flag run in and not have this thing turn into a wreck fest. Here we go. John Andrews going to lead him back to green with Dale Johnson II in tow. And Andrews gets clear of the 55. He takes off for the top position. Everybody's starting to get a little squirrely there. And there they go. Ryan Durrani into the wall, and we're still green. Somehow we are still green. Ryan Durrani managed to keep it straight. We're still going for the time being. That's a tough break, though, for Ryan Durrani. He ended up getting a lot of damage to his race machine, so unfortunately, he's going to lose all that track position that he had before. But everybody for now, still buying their time. John Andrews breaks out with the top spot. Dale Johnson in second. And, yep, that did not last any longer than that. Just like that, we're back under caution. Goodness gracious. I had a feeling 104 was going to be a little bit too much there. 105 was definitely too much, but 104 is definitely proving to be way too much there. It wasn't for a while, and then until it was here. See all the lead lap cars, they're coming down, they're making their stops. Belladonna, Cologne making some contact there, coming off as Cologne was exiting his pits. Oh, that's so frustrating. That is incredibly frustrating. I thought we were going to get ourselves a good long green flag run in, and we were on track for that. Up until that happened. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened that caused our most recent yellow flag of the race. I believe it might have just involved the 32 of Alex Rampus. It might have. We'll just have to wait and see. No, Rampus actually came down onto pit road. And it involved the 2 of Will Parrish again. So heading through 1 and 2, Parrish on the third line up on the outside, and Skylar Taylor getting into the left rear quarter panel, getting sandwiched again. And Will Parrish sideways on the track once again. How many times are we going to talk about Will Parrish being a part of a yellow flag or causing a yellow flag? It looks like even Zachary Fitzwater gets a lot of damage there. You just saw it right there, just bouncing off the outside wall in that number 9 machine. But Parrish has been involved in a lot of incidents as of late here today. And he just added another one on that list. And this is definitely, I would also have to say, as far as Will Parrish is concerned, this is definitely going to be a day that he's probably going to want to have to leave behind and just completely forget. And I believe next weekend we are going to Fontana, so we're not going to have the type of wreck fests that we've been having as of recent here. Well, really, when I say recently, I mean today. But it's very unfortunate to see. I thought we were going to get ourselves a good long green flag run in. Unfortunately, not the case. As we are working our yet another caution flag here at Bristol. On lap 110 now, looks like John Andrews is gonna come out with the top position. So far, only 5 retirees from the race. Of course, Casey Wells, John Felber, Damian Kyle Wood, and then Avon Murray, and also the 34, who went out back on lap number 5. So Tatiana Noguera actually is going to take over the top position, with Stephen Cologne second, Jeremiah Simpson third, Savantali fourth, Bryce Egan completing the top 5, then Sebastian Palmer, John Andrews, Edson Hernandez, Dale Johnson the second, and also Tyler Belladonna completing the top 10. As we are working lap 112, getting ready to start lap 113. This time by. You see Rogel Dorn making his way to pit road. And we're getting ready to go back under the green flag on lap 113. Please, guys, please, let's just have a good long green flag run. That's all I ask. Here we come to the restart. Nogueira gets a really good jump on that start. And they're gonna clear the number 21. 3 wide here with Sustry and Parrish around again, and somehow they managed to hold on to it. I don't know for how much longer. And there they go. There they go again. They also wrecked a little bit just on the exit of turn 4 with the 99 of Wyatt Walker and I believe Alex Rampus. And just like that, we're back under caution. That did not take long whatsoever. That absolutely did not take long at all. I don't know. I don't have the words right now, guys. I honestly just do not have the words to really describe what is even happening here at Bristol. What is happening? What is going on? See, all the lead lap cars, they're coming down, they're making their pit stops, but I don't even know what's going on here. By far, this is definitely by far probably one of the most bad, chaotic races I have ever commentated, in my honest opinion. I have to say this is definitely not the type of racing that you want to be seeing. Definitely not the type of racing that you'd want to be watching whatsoever, especially on live television. But let's go back. Let's take a look and see what happened that caused our most recent caution flag of the day. And that just... I'm just literally at the point where I'm probably just going to say if they can get past halfway, I'm just going to call it from there. Because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. But this really started here going through turn 1. Where things were going to get really, really dicey. See Will Parrish and Michael Young. And you see Parrish get kind of just turned there. He manages to save it. And then he whips it right back up onto the racetrack. You see DeFeo and also Wyatt Walker getting together. They were 4 wide for just a split second. Almost 5 wide going through the corner, which you never really see here at Bristol. And then right here, Zachary Fitzwater just gets hit by the 2 of Will Parrish, and that's what sends him around. Nia Steidel also goes around as well, I believe off the bumper of Matt Jones. And also just behind this, it looks like Wyatt Walker and also Michael DeFeo get together here. So we're gonna look at this in real time. They were all together right up on that outside wall until that safer barrier pretty much ran out, and that's what sent all those other cars around. Crampton was collected in that one too. Man, I am honestly just at a disbelief of what I'm seeing. Honestly, I am just at a disbelief. See all these cars coming down on pit road. Parrish still managing to continue on. Fitzy also gonna somehow continue on. But lots of damage on that number 9. Stanley DeWalt Ford Fusion. Wyatt Walker, who ended up getting some damage. He's also heading back out. Got a couple retirees of Travis Crampton and Chad Gronkowski. So add a few more retirees to that list. And we are going to be getting one to go. Jeremiah Simpson, currently your race leader. With Taylor second, Hernandez third. Bryce Egan being shown in the 4th position. Then running in 5th will be the 26th of Alex Savantali. Stephen Colon. Then also the 21. And I don't even know what Derek Hamill was doing. He probably might have been way ahead there, but Noguera 7th, Belladonna 8th, John Andrews 9th, and Dale Johnson completing the top 10. Here we go. Green flag. Let's see how long we can take here before we have yet another caution flag. Looks like some of the lappers ended up getting a better restart there. And, yep. Wow. That did not take long whatsoever. Dale Johnson into the inside wall. Unfortunately, he's going to be done for the day. I honestly am just very frustrated with what's happening here. I'm super frustrated with what's going on. And we're almost to that halfway point, so if we can get past it, it looks like we will. If anything happens from then on, it is pretty much going to be official. And whoever's leading, as soon as they cross the stripe, that's pretty much where we're gonna accelerate things, and then that'll be it. I really hate doing that. I've never done that before. I've never wanted to do that before. And I was hoping that I would never be in that position. But the constant wreck fests, everything that's going on, it's becoming way too much to really just sit through and having to deal with, because you guys absolutely do not deserve that whatsoever. You deserve a really good performance. You deserve really great racing. This just does not cut it for me. And I'm pretty sure some of this just doesn't cut for you guys either. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a look and see what happened that caused our most recent caution of the race. And unfortunately, one of those that took out the number 27 of Dale Johnson II, who is having himself a really great race. Unfortunately, gonna be out of it as we're closing in on halfway. Here's what happened. I believe Johnson was trying to get to pit road and just completely misjudged it. Goes into the outside wall, gets rear-ended here by Michael Young. Daniel Adams gets collected. Alex Rampus. Then there's Wyatt Walker, who got a piece. Great driving by Nia Seidel, getting around it on the outside. No problems whatsoever. But we are going to have a couple more retirees from this event. And guess who? Will Parrish just went around, coming out of turn number 2 for the umpteenth time today. Man, this is just not what I had in mind for great racing here at Bristol. We had it there for a little while until lap 64, and then just all hell broke loose. And it's almost like with every single caution flag that we've had ever since, Pandora's box just got completely ripped wide open. And there's not really much anybody could really do there. And it looks like we missed yet another restart. And yet another caution flag. So we got past halfway. Man, this was a mess. We got past halfway. So now at this point, it's pretty much official. So John Andrews will be coming home as the race winner. I am just so very disappointed by everything that's going on. I'm just very disappointed. So, of course, right here, these are going to be your results. I'm done sitting through the Wreckfest. I'm done sitting through this Wreckfest. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. And I do apologize to everybody for this type of racing, for just having cautions lap after lap after lap after lap. You guys definitely do not deserve this whatsoever. By far the worst McDonald's Cup Series race I've ever commentated. Probably the worst one I've ever put together. Fontana, when we go to Fontana next week, it will be better. Mark my words, it will be better for sure. We are going to get much better racing than this. Because this type of racing at Bristol just was not going to cut it. It was either between lap 103% AI difficulty or 104. If we did 103, then it would have just been riding all the way around. Lap 104, if we got to 104, we would have had that with a balance of this. And unfortunately, just it didn't quite balance out really well. And that's what led to this turning into an absolute wreck fest and an absolute crap show. So again, I really do apologize, guys. This is not how I want to end off a race. This is definitely not what I want to do whatsoever. And you guys do not deserve that. So as far as something I could really do to make up for it, if there's anything I can do, please DM me on Discord. Just let me know. And I will be sure to put something together as soon as I possibly can. But John Andrews is currently is going to be scored as the winner. Ryan Durrani will finish second. Tatiana Noguera third. Skylar Taylor fourth. Bryce Egan will complete the top five. Then there will be Colon, Simpson, Hernandez, Savantali, Belladonna. They will all complete your top 10. Then Kyler Sustry, Bob Floyd. Those are the last two cars to finish on the lead lap. And then everybody else to finish one lap down or more right here. Of course, then you also have Rogel Dorn and Will Parrish that finished 8th and 11 laps down. Dale Johnson, who ended up going on to the race. And then everybody else from 34th on down to 42nd, who ended up going out as well, thanks to the Wreckfest, with the exception of Ava Murray and also Josh Lee, who went out on lap number 5 before we had that long green flag run. But that's pretty much going to do it from Bristol Motor Speedway. Again, do massively apologize for doing this. This race was just, if we kept this going, this is all it would have been. This was all that it would have been. It would have just been an absolute wreck fest. After restart after restart after restart, yellow after yellow after yellow. I would hate for people to just sit through this. This by far is just, we don't want to see these cars go on the racetrack under yellow for the rest of the time. Absolutely not. Nothing happens at that point. So we're just going to call it here because it's official. We've gotten past lap 125. That's all that matters. Next week, we'll be going to Fontana. That race will be taking place at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And that race should be better. Again, that race should 100% be better. Because this just doesn't cut it for me. And I would not blame anybody if it didn't cut it for you. So, thank you guys a lot for watching. Again, apologies for this. This is definitely not something that I wanted to do at all. Definitely some of the worst short track racing I've ever seen. But anyways, take care, guys. Your point standings will be coming up. Keep an eye on the Discord as soon as this premiere ends. And as always, we'll see you next week.